Coming up, I'm going to be talking about Sofia the First sequel, plus also a new series from FX, plus how Disney Plus is doing here in the UK. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. And let's start off with talking about a brand new series coming soon to Disney Plus and Disney Junior Channel in 2026 called Sofia the First Royal Magic. This brand new sequel series follows Sofia, a young girl who becomes a princess overnight when her mother marries the king, continuing her adventures as she attends the Charmswell School for Royal Magic, the Academy for Princes and Princesses, to further their magical and royal education. Ariel Winter, who played Sofia in the original animated series, and she's also probably most well known for her role in Modern Family, will also be returning. No word yet on any other cast for this show. Looks like it's going to be a big deal, I think, when this one drops. They are going to be making a few little changes to the format. Rather than having a long 22-minute episode, this time around it's going to be broken up of two 11-minute episodes, sort of jumped together. This is something that Disney's doing a lot more with their short series anyway, because I think generally just attention spans are a little bit shorter, and I think also they can just churn out more stories that way. And I think it just seems to work better nowadays for them to do that, especially with the Disney Junior shows. So again, you obviously can watch the first series of Sofia the First right now on Disney Plus. But let me know in the comments below, are you excited about the return of Sofia the First in the comments below? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. Shifting gears now to something extremely different, let's now talk about a brand new FX series called Grotesque, which is coming out on the FX channel on September the 25th, and it'll be available the next day on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus in the US. It'll also be coming to Disney Plus internationally at a later date. This brand new series, the trailer was really kooky, really weird, extremely well shot. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like a wrestling vignette that you might find for like the Wyatt Six or something. Anyway, but it looked really creepy, loads of like imagery and just symbolism and stuff. I mean, the trailer really didn't give too much away. Obviously, you just got a cop investigating some murders. But it just looks really creepy. And in some ways, this almost feels like this could have been a season of American Horror Story. That maybe that might have been, and they've just splintered it off into its own separate thing. Very creepy, very weird. I know my wife is probably definitely going to be checking this one out. I'll probably be like, is this for me? I'll give it a go. But let me know, are you excited about Grotesque? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Shifting gears now, let's now talk about how Disney Plus is doing here in the UK, because we got some new data that's come out from the Bob, who give out all the official data from the government. So this one here, they've now revealed that 7.6 million households here in the UK now have access to Disney Plus, which is about 26.1% of all households. This is actually slightly flat compared to the first quarter, so this is based on the second quarter of the year so far. Netflix, however, is now available in 17.1 million UK households, which is 58.6%. And now this is actually up over 1.5 million households since the last quarter. That's huge. Amazon Prime Video is also up about 500,000. They're now in 13.7 million homes. But compared to some of the other streaming services here in the UK, for example, Apple TV is now in 2.4 million homes, Paramount Plus at 2.8, Discovery Plus at 3.2, and Now TV at 1.98. Generally, there has been an increase in the amount of people signing up to streaming services, but there is no doubt that with the cost of living crisis and everything going on, and with price rises and all the rest of it, that people are looking to try and cut costs, and so therefore they're looking to get rid of streaming services. But Netflix and Amazon definitely seem to be leading the way as the video on demand ones. Now, this obviously doesn't include like BBC, even though we do pay for it. It kind of comes under a different thing. It's not technically a SVOD, even though we do pay for it. I don't know, it's just how that works. But so Netflix is way ahead. In fact, they're just growing and growing. I mean, they've recently changed their prices with the ad tiers and stuff, so it's pretty cheap now. I would have thought that Disney Plus would have been able to get more people signed up with the low cost price of $4.99 a month. However, that doesn't seem to be working. Now, I do think there are some things that Disney really need to do, and this is very much not just for Disney Plus as a whole, but just some of the things I think they need to do here in the UK to try and improve things. First off, better advertising. I think they need to push that $4.99 price point as a selling point to get people in. Push some of the big shows that are on there. And I also think they don't do a very good job of highlighting that some of the most popular shows that have been on like Sky, on BBC, things like Family Guy, Grey's Anatomy, when they return, they need to really push them much more. Obviously, over the summer, there's not been a lot of big shows like Star Wars or anything like that. And I mean, we've only had, one Star Wars, one Marvel this year, neither of which kind of did a lot of viewership, so that didn't help. I mean, and obviously Q2, just the first or the second 3 months of the year. I don't know, I think they just need to really kind of ramp up what they're doing. I think there's some other things they need to do. I think they need to be better at advertising what's coming up. Very much like, sometimes you just see stuff just chucked in on the front page of Disney Plus, and that's literally the only advertising and marketing they do. So therefore they're never promoting it. Now, they could do, sometimes we get shows turn up and we don't even know they're turning up in advance. And, you know, they don't put out a proper list anymore, like in other countries where you get a full list of what's coming. The UK doesn't do that. Half the time, I literally have to just check in the morning to see what's new. And then that's it. I don't think they do a very good job of that. They don't highlight when new shows are coming, new episodes. People kind of don't know that. Also, I think just in general, you know, Disney Plus here in the UK has just gone through a bit of a dip. You know, we saw with all the price cuts, you know, changes in what they were doing. And I don't know, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of campaigning going on. They're really trying to sort of, again, cut back to try and save money, and trying to boost up how much profit they're making is impacting on how much they're advertising. And I think that impacts them on how many new subscribers they can get. The fact that they've still got essentially 75% of the UK population still could get Disney Plus for their household. There's a lot that they still sort of push that. And I don't think they're doing that maybe enough. Maybe do some more promotions, $1.99, $2.99 kind of things for the winter. Just get people in, get people using it, and get people locked in so they get used to those tiers, get used to the shows. But I do think they've got to ramp up with getting day-and-date releases with the US. All this stuff of having shows, you know, with, for example, like things like Grotesque. You know, we've got the new American sports story. We've got Old Man all coming up. All being advertised now for September. The UK hasn't done any advertising. We don't know when they're coming. And again, that's 3 big shows that they're just not promoting in any which way on any of their socials or anything. And this is all part of this problem. And whether or not the UK needs to be treated separately from Europe, you know, if there's issues like with dubbing and subtitles and stuff in France, well, that shouldn't affect the UK. We can understand Americans pretty well. The little word here and there. So I think, you know, they need to treat maybe the UK slightly different to the rest of Europe, because we are different. You know, we understand Americanism quite well. We're all right with that. But yeah, I do think Disney Plus here in the UK really does have to kind of do a little bit more. I think they've been resting on their laurels and just kind of churning through, and I don't think they've really been kind of pushing what they need to. And I think more promotions, do some stuff away from the traditional, just social media and stuff that I think they need to get out there. Not necessarily just advertising like on ITV, but on buses, in supermarkets. Get the word out there of the price point, because I don't think they've done a great job of really pushing that as a selling point. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Disney Plus could do. I know there'll be some people asking about, like they should put more legacy stuff on there, put more things on, and that's all part of it. I mean, it's all this constant thing. Disney Plus needs a major upgrade. It needs some changes. Hopefully, like maybe with some sports, that could help it. But again, if they're not going to promote it and they're just going to slap it in there, no one's going to know about it. And if they don't make any noise about it, most people aren't going to be aware of it. And obviously, well, a lot of those sports are probably going to be US-centric, which aren't so popular here in the UK. So that might not work either. But I don't know. I think they desperately need to do some kind of some invigorating, just to kind of get it going again. It does feel a little bit flat. Maybe also with lack of like big shows and stuff. They've just not been really doing a lot. But again, let me know what you think of this in the comments below. And our question of the day, which comes from our YouTube channel member Dana, who says, so you keep talking about Blade with Wesley Snipes in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Do you think they'll bring him back as Blade instead of someone new? No. I think this was very much a case of just, a little bit of name recognition, a little bit more of incorporating this whole multiverse thing. And I think we are leading up to the fact of when we get to Secret Wars, they are going to wrap all of this up. And he was just a nice little cameo. And I don't think it necessarily means they want to bring him in. I think, they even like tongue-in-cheek played on the fact that, nobody else is going to play him, right? Yeah, they played on that fact, and I think they've been leaning in on just sorting out all of the back history of Marvel. They're all separate multiverses, and then when we get to Secret Wars, everything is just going to get simplified. But I'd love to know what you think of this. Do you think Wesley Snipes will be continuing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this. Go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.